Welcome back to the Arise interview. I'm Charles Aniagolu. Now, after more than 60 years of independence, Nigeria remains a country in search of a national vision that can unite all its people in that vision. As the 2023 elections approach, the unresolved issues of regional rivalries, party politics, and ethnic strife are rearing up once again, but so are attempts to try to resolve such nettlesome problems that conspire against cohesion before it's too late. But is the draw of a new political leadership as the ballot approaches enough to put the country's politicians on the right path of rectitude? Or will party politics once again degenerate into corruption and conflict, setting the country's democracy back once again? Well, for more on this, I'm still in the studio. I've still got with me in the studio the chairman of Nigeria's National Interest Forum and former presidential candidate Shitu Mohammed Kabir. Thank you very much indeed for staying with us. So, what does the political motorway look like to you as the chairman of the National Interest Forum and as a former presidential candidate as the 2023 elections approach?
For us, we believe that we must have free, fair, and credible election come 2023. We believe we also propagate that we should start electronic voting so that some of us that are in diaspora can also be able to.
Well, there is electronic voting. It's the getting of the results. That's the issue, isn't it?
Yes, but these are what will shape the 2023 election to be free, fair, and credible. And for us to have all this, we can't just sit and fold our hand. We must talk to ourselves as a country and as people. First of all, we must know that we don't have any other country to go than the Nigerian. And it is our collective interest that the country remain Nigeria. And it is time, we believe, that for 2023 to succeed, to be free, fair, and credible as we want, the politician must now look at the interests of the country vis-a-vis their interests. Because you could fight for your interest and the country go aflame.
Absolutely.
But you could fight for the collective interest of the country and make the country work for all of us, where you know that you are guaranteed. And I want to let Nigerians know that COVID should be a lesson to us. Some of us that work against the interests of the country, especially in the economic activities, where you take our money and take outside the country. During the COVID, the question they ask themselves, can they go to those countries? Can they be admitted in their hospitals?
That's a good point.
When you don't have hospitals in
Absolutely.
your own town. These are what we should look. And that is why we must look for the collective interests of the country to be able to have all these facilities in our country.
That's a good point. And talking about collective interests, I've read a lot about you talking about meritocracy in the way the country is run, particularly when it comes to leadership, and with a focus on 2023. You say that the best person should lead Nigeria irrespective of where they come from. So presumably you don't agree with all those who say that in the interest of justice, the presidency should rotate to the southeast this time because they haven't had a turn.
We are not saying that the presidency should not be rotated to southeast. And what we are saying as national interest will even help the Igbos more. If you said, why can't we take the best brain among the Igbos who have the interests of the country, who believe in Nigeria, and to be our president, if he merit it? If he merit it, and because it's an Igbo, and you say, we are not giving it to Igbo, that's not under national interest. What national interest is saying is that enough of saying it has to be so particular person. No. That particular person that is we are thinking, did he merit it? What are the criteria we set for ourselves as a country? Somebody that believes in the unity of the country. Somebody could come from anywhere and believe in the country and has the merit, and he can take the country out of wool. But because they say, okay, it is not southeast turn, and you just go and take somebody on the street of southeast, that does not even represent.
Yeah, but I don't think that's the point, really. I mean, I understand what you mean, that
so
it doesn't matter where you come from.
It doesn't matter.
It needs to be the best candidate from that region, assuming you make that choice. But,
yes.
I mean, a lot of these people who are calling for a southeastern president also support meritocracy, but they say that there must be justice first before merit. So after you have completed the rounds in the interests of justice, I mean, you've had northerners as presidents, you've had southwesterners as presidents, you've had southerners as president, and now you should have a southeasterner. They say that after that, you can then resort to meritocracy and everyone will be happy, rather than a section of the country not being happy. Does that not sound like a reasonable proposition to you?
It is a reasonable proposition. It is a reasonable one. But who are the people coming out? Are they reaching other people? Or they are just sitting that it is our turn?
No, but I mean, if the country is united in the belief that there should be justice, and therefore, if there is justice, you should go to that, then everybody, just like you're talking about collective interest, it would be in the collective interest of all sections of Nigeria to come together to help find the best candidate out of the southeast.
Wherever the president is coming from, even when they ask from the southwest, we have the people like Bolaige, we have the people, out of them, somebody emerge and he become Obasanjo and you go on with the power. And when we are talking of the north, you can find out that even in the north, the presidents you have from the north are all come from the north.
Right, but do you agree with the principle that the next president of Nigeria, in the interest of justice, should come from the southeast? I mean, it's a different thing whether you can find the candidate who will, whoever the candidate is. Do you agree with the principle of it?
We agree with that principle. And that is why we said for the interest of the country, it has to have the interest of the country at heart. And it's somebody we see that will not divide the country. You know that even in the southeast that you are talking, there are certain persons that if you take today and you say, come to take Nigeria, even the southeastern people will say, no, we rather,
but that's not the point. I mean, as I said, you agree with the principle,
we agree with
then
the
the issue will be, let's find the right candidate.
The right candidate.
I mean, that's the point. There are two different issues.
Yeah, that principle is okay, because National Interest Forum is not talking of one region, one state. No, we are talking of the country. We are talking about Nigeria.
But I have to,
talking of the interest.
Yes, I have to say that I agree with you that broadly speaking, there ought to be a meritocracy in this country. And part of the problem is that there hasn't been meritocracy. I mean, it's all been driven by all kinds of things, federal character, this one, that one, and that has entrenched mediocrity in this country. So I agree with you that in principle, that's a good idea. But in order for people to be satisfied that meritocracy is in their interest, they have to see an association between that and justice.
Definitely. We have to...
Very briefly, because we're almost out of time.
We in the why we put up National Interest Forum is for us to curb the issue of regionalism. The issue of it has to come from the north, or it has to come from the south, or it has to... Because now, as a country, we have to move from nascent democracy, we are calling ourselves, into the real democracy, and then be able to develop, because now what is at the front burner in 1998
Right.
is to send the military back to the barrack.
I'm really sorry to interrupt you, but
2001.
I absolutely have to go now because I'm out of time. But Shitu Mohammed Kabir, I want to thank you very much indeed for coming in. That's it. Bye-bye.